Hey, this is Brian and thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, be sure to give us a nice big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. Today we're going to show you how to install a display key on a BMW F30. For more information on these keys, see the link in the description. For more information on features and functions, click the link above. Alright, here's a look at everything that comes in the kit. So as you'd imagine, there's the key right there. There's some plug and play wiring harnesses, a couple modules, and then we also have a wireless charger. Now, a cool part about this installation is you don't need all that many tools. So we just have a basic socket set. We have some Torx bits, a Phillips head screwdriver, 2 trim tools, and a pick tool. Whenever you're working on any electrical components in your car, you always want to disconnect the negative battery terminal. So to do that, you're going to need a 10mm socket. In the F30, you twist this, rock it down, slide it out of the way, and take that 10mm, loosen this, pull it up, twist it, push it down. Now with your battery disconnected, you never want to shut your trunk because it's going to be a bear to get back open. I recommend just taking a microfiber towel, feeding it through, just knotting it over once. It'll prevent it from shutting, and it's going to be a pretty obvious sign that you don't want your trunk shut. With the battery now disconnected, you can grab your tools. We're going to prep the car, remove some panels, and get ready for the install. Alright, the first piece to come off is going to be the under plastic. So this is in the driver footwell. We're going to remove this one and also the one in the passenger footwell. To remove this, there's a 10mm nut here, and there's one over here. To remove this, just get your hand in here, slide it across, and you'll release these clips. There's going to be 2 connections, so there's one here, and then there's one over here, so just remove those. Then we have our OBD2 connection. Now with the OBD2, there's this little blue retaining clip. You pull it up, this will pop right out. Then with everything disconnected, you can just take this whole panel, pull it out, and do the exact same thing on the passenger side. Next, what we're gonna do is remove this panel. The easiest way is I like to just grab the weather stripping, just pull it down and out of the way, and if you push up here, it'll pop right out. So again, do the same thing to the other side of the car. During our installation, we have a little wire that needs to go up here, so we need to remove this. There's a metal clip right here, and there's 2 plastic tabs. So just go pull it, slide it up, and you can release that. One of the big reasons that we are disconnecting our battery is because we are working right near the airbag. The last piece that we really need to get to is here. To get this out, you're gonna need to remove this. There are 4 plastic pins holding this in place, so get your hands under here, pull this up, set it out of the way. Now most of the time what's going to happen is when you go to remove this panel, you're going to have some of the pins actually get stuck in the car. If that happens, take a trim tool, just pop them out just like that, and you slide them into these little channels like that, and you just pop it back in, and it's done. Last, we need to remove this panel right here, so just pull up. There's a couple plastic clips that hold it in place, so pop those out, slide it out of the way. Now what you want to do is grab your main wiring harness. It's going to look like this. There's going to be 2 main sides. All these connections over here, these are going to go to the driver's side, and this plug and play connection, this is going to stay on the passenger's footwell. Alright, this is the main area that we're going to be working for the next couple minutes. What we need to do is remove this black plastic piece right here. This is a T20, so grab a T20, remove the little screw in here, okay, and on the back there's this little white connection. You just slide that off just like that. Alright, let's start easy. So what we need to do is we need to remove the second plug from the left. So there you can see it right there. The way that this works is there's this little tab. You press down the tab and then you pull this lever up, and that's going to easily guide it right out. Then what you do is you take your plug and play wiring harness, make sure everything is lined up, and then just gently press it in. And what's going to happen is as you pull this lever down, it's going to click into place, rock solid. Then take the other end, again, you press in this little tab, rock that up. I'm going to put it back in the same spot, make sure it's pressed in all the way. Then just pull that lever down, lock it in place. In this same area, you're going to find some fuses. So what you want to do is locate the 20 amp down there, take a fuse puller, and if you don't have a fuse puller, there's actually one in your trunk. So what we'll do is we'll take that, pull it out. Super awkward angle, but you'll get it. There you go. Then what you do is you take your fuse tap, we're gonna put the fuse back in, and then you take these prongs and you just insert them into that same spot we just removed it. Now power doesn't do much without ground, so let me show you what to do with the ground. So what we want to do is take our ground wire Just fish it up through here, just like that. Then what you can do is just reach in here with a T25. I'm going to loosen this screw here. Slide this on, and then we'll tighten it back up. And that'll be our ground location. All right, now what we need to do is we need to go to the second connector in. So it's this one right here. Lift the lever up. I'm gonna pull this over here just like that. All right, so now with this connection out, what we need to do is we need to swap out one of the pins for this pin. It's nowhere near as hard as it sounds. So if you look on here, it's going to be too hard to show on camera, but there's a little 1, and over here there's a 15 for an example. There's some other numbers down the sides here as well. So what you need to do to figure out what pin it is this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 15. So 16, as you can see, it's also marked right here. It's going to be this end pin right here. So what we need to do, there's 2 little wire harnesses. Again, a little hard to show. There's one here and one here. I just need to pull this one out. So there's a little clip over here. So if you open this up like that, you can slide that out and we can see all of the different pins in the harness. Before we were looking at it like this and we know that this is pin 16. So what we do, we go in here, we press down on this little tab while pulling, just like that. Pull that pin all the way out. Then what you do is you take this new pin, we're going to slide it in and it's going to click into place. Then what you do is just line it up, make sure you're not pinching any wires, slide it in and it'll clip into place. Alright, then what we're going to do is get this little adapter piece right here, make sure that it's going to line up in the correct spot. So we'll do a little test fit, and I know that it needs to go on the right side here. So I'm going to take that pin that we just removed, going to clip it in place, make sure that it snaps all the way in, and then there's this little clip, and what you do is you just press that down, and that'll make sure that everything is locked in place. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take that original pin 16, and we're just going to make this connection just like that. Then what you can do is just move this over, slide it back in, and pull down that lever. Now what I like to do, I don't like to have any exposed pins like this. I'm just going to put a little piece of electrical tape over it. Okay, just like that. Alright, so we're going to do that exact same thing over here. Just going to lift this up. This one is pin 30. So if we look at it, this is 34, so 33, 32, 31, 30. It's right there, so let's pull out that one side. Okay, we'll line this up. Alright, so 34. Alright, so 30. Alright, so 34, 33, 32, 31, 30. Okay, and sure enough, there's a pin on there. It's always a good sign that you counted right. So pull this out. Just like that. Alright, so 34, 33, 32, 31, 30. Okay, and sure enough, there's a pin on there. It's always a good sign that you counted right. So pull this out. Just like that. Now what we need to do is grab our other harness, looks like this. And what we need is this end right here, so we have a bare pin, and then we have another connection. Alright, with that wire we just talked about, take the wire, slide it into pin 30. Don't miss. Okay, make sure it clicks into place. Then just like we did before, take your existing pin and you're going to slide it into the adapter that we provide. We'll connect that. And always make sure your wire is on the correct side, so make sure that they're both on the left or both on the right, or nothing's going to happen. Now what we need to do is we need to get all of those wires from our footwell on the passenger side over to the driver's side. Now the easiest way to do that is to just remove your dash trim. So if you just get your hand in here, just go slow. Just pry it up, just like that. Then once you get here, what I like to do is just push out this button like that. There's a little connection, just squeeze, set that to the side. And then there's just one more connection, and then this can be moved out of the way. And with that out of the way, we can see that there's a gaping hole all the way through our dash. We can feed it through here, bring it out here, fish it down there, and it'll go right in our footwell. All right, so take all your wires that are on the ground, and just very carefully feed them up through here. Just like that, there we go. Then if you have a fishing wire, you can grab it. If not, just grab a flimsy hanger, put some electrical tape so you don't poke anything on the sides. And I like to put a little bend on the one side. Okay, so I just like to loop it around here like that. Just bend it so it won't pop off. Just very carefully feed it through here. Shouldn't really hit anything because it's wide open. There we go. And we'll just continue cooling everything through. Okay, here we go. Then what we can do, we can figure out where we want it to go. I want it to go south, so we're gonna do the same thing. Just bend this through. Make sure you don't poke anything with your hanger. Unhook my hanger so you don't poke anything. Set that out of the way. Carefully pull all this stuff down. All right, in your kit, you're gonna have a little wire that looks like this. What we're going to do is just disconnect our start-stop button. We're gonna plug our new harness into the start-stop button, make sure it clicks in, and then take the existing connection, connect it through there, then take this wire and route it all the way through this hole to your foot. Okay, once you have everything routed in, you can pop your start-stop button back in. Now what we need to do is we need to mount our antenna. So to do this, you are going to need a small piece of double-sided adhesive. So whether you like to use 3M, or if you like to use Gorilla like I'm using today, it's completely up to you. Okay, so put a piece on the back. And then what you want to do is mount it right here, just like that. And you can just tuck your wire down. Here you can see the antenna mounted, and I rounded that wire all the way down to the floor. For this next part, you want to take your key fob, pop it off. There is a little hole in here. You stick your key blade in there. You're going to pop the backing off. All right, so what you're going to need to do now is grab this little box right here, and it has 4 screws in it. So you can just take those 4 screws out, just like that. Next, what you want to do is take your battery, and just pop it out of your key fob. Inside, there are these metal tabs. What you want to do is just very carefully just bend them in a little bit. You want to make sure that this is going to get a really nice tight fit. Next, what you want to do is locate the bag that looks like this, and it has 2 of these little battery looking things. So what you want to do is find the one that's closest to your actual battery size. So as you can see, I have the larger size. So what we're going to do is we are going to install this into our key fob. Then what you want to do is there's this little foam dot. You can stick it or you can just put it like this. We're going to put that in there. We're going to seal this up. Just like that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take this ribbon and you're going to slide it right in here with the lines facing up. Just very carefully wiggle it in. Alright, so it looks just like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put our key right in there just like that. We're going to close this box up and screw it shut. Alright, just a couple more connections and we're done. So on that skinny harness, you're going to see a plug that looks just like this. And on the larger harness, you're going to see a plug that looks just like this. What you want to do is connect these two if you haven't done so already. So let's see if I can do this with one hand. Boom, there we go. All right, make sure that you make that connection. Then when you're looking at your wire harness, you're going to see this one. It looks like it has some BMW connectors and it Y's off. So this is my brake right here. And if you look up, there's a connection right by my finger. What we need to do is we need to disconnect that and we need to plug it into this Y. So one of these is going to go into each factory location. Let's see if I can do this upside down, backwards, and not in your way. All right, so we have that disconnected. I can't really see a thing. I'm gonna plug it in here. We'll reach this up. See if we can plug it in. All right, perfect. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these wires and I'm going to route them up here. So just get all of them in the same location. Now whenever you're running your wires, especially that brake one, what you want to do is always go around the airbag, never go under it, because that could prevent it from deploying and it could be a bad day. Now it's time to grab our control module and start plugging things in. For the most part, all of the plugs are unique. There's only one exception and it's a big one. There's two that have 6 pins. This right here in my hand is the antenna. Plug this in your control module first, and then the rest we can't mess up. Okay, so we're gonna plug that one there. Plug this one here. Make sure everything clips in. It's seated nice. All right, everything is plugged in. Then what I can do is I can take my other 6-pin connection and I'm gonna plug it into the magic box over here. All right, we are fully installed. So now what we need to do is we need to hide wires. What I would recommend is put this in a place that's very difficult to get to. I'm not going to show you where I'm gonna mount this just for security reasons, but I will show you this all mounted up. I'm just gonna wrap some tape around it. It's gonna be hard to see, so I'm just gonna do it and then I'll show you the end result. All right, everything is nice and neat and mounted up, and I have my key box hidden. Let's reconnect the battery and test it out. All right, let's check it out. So if we swipe up here, there's 2 different ways you can lock and unlock your car. You can either do it with the touch screen, just like that, and as you see, my car is locking. And we can also unlock it. There we go. Or, I like these buttons up here, so if I wanna lock my car, I just hit that, and it does the exact same thing. Same with unlock, and also trunk. Now we haven't gotten to my favorite feature yet, but if you scroll through, there's some other apps. You can see if your car is locked or unlocked. You can go in here, see if your alarm is set, what your battery voltage is, you know, engine state, if you're inside, is my car on, is my car off, and some other cool apps. Now one of my favorite features on here is that little button to the bottom right, or this one right here. And what this is a car finder. So if you've ever lost your BMW in a parking lot, a lot of times what you do is you try to hit the lock and nothing. You might hear your mirrors folding, but that doesn't help you if you don't know where your car is. So by hitting this button down here or this one up here, your car is gonna honk a couple times, making it super easy to find. But there's one feature on here that rises above them all, and it's this middle button right here. We have remote start on a BMW F30. Now before this place fills up with exhaust, we press and hold that button again. Not only will it start, but it'll also stop the motor as well. Again, my name is Brian and thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. As always, be sure to give us a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, and check us out at KiesMotorsports.com for all of your BMW retrofit, performance, and aesthetic needs. Again, my name is Brian, thanks for watching, and have a great day.